Hello, guys. Welcome back to Main Event podcast number 2. Hello, Spencer. How are you?
I'm all right. And yourself?
Good, yeah. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, Nathan. I hope you are too.
Okay. Let's kick things off then with the death of Kobe Bryant. This is sad.
It's very sad. You know, I live out here where it happened. I know exactly where it happened, off the highway. And when I got up that morning, I was on the iPad and I saw like Kobe Bryant killed in helicopter. I went, what? You know, and I put on the TV. It was like such a shock that would happen. And that morning, the visibility out here was terrible. It was that helicopter should have never been flying, and it was flying against the rules. And what the guy did, he couldn't see, and he tried to go up, and he hit the side of the mountain.
Wow.
Now, why they went up is another story. Why did he take them up? That's crazy.
I thought it caught on fire before, like it had caught on fire before it was going down. Yeah, it was sad though.
The last thing I heard was that the last thing they had, he asked permission to go higher, right, to try to get up above the fog, and that's when he hit the mountain.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't hear anything that it caught fire before.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard an engine blew or something on the way up, and then that's what made it fall out the sky. But wow, that's crazy. It's sad. It's sad.
Can you, Spencer, as a black man, and obviously he was a big part of the black community and to many black people, and obviously to white people, what can you tell the impact of his legacy?
See, all right, I'm going to say it like this, to be fair. Kobe was a great player. He was a phenomenal Laker. He was a career Laker. So the city loves him. He brought them 5 championships. They love him. The impact on him as a whole in the sport of boxing, in the sport of basketball, he was doing more things after basketball. He was promoting women's basketball more, maybe because his daughter was playing ball, but, he was helping to bring more light and trying to bring more, people to have more respect for the females that play the sport, trying to get them better pay. He was doing a couple of films. I think he just won an Oscar last year for his other film, for his documentary. So he was doing a lot. I'm not sure, all right, in comparison, LeBron James, I know he's put kids through college from his hometown. He's paid for them to go through school. He has, I know that's what he did directly. I'm not too familiar with the charities that Kobe has specifically like that, but I'm pretty sure he has something.
What I'm about to say now before we move on to the main show, to me, Michael Jordan will always be the man. That's how I've always seen it, because when in the 80s when I was born, he was always the name that was always mentioned. So he's the name in my head that will always be the greatest player. That's just my opinion.
Everybody, I don't think he's the best basketball player.
No, but ever. What I'm saying is universally known, he's more well known, isn't he, Michael Jordan?
Yeah, he's definitely more well known than Kobe was. But whoever follows basketball knows who Kobe is. There's nobody that follows the sport, that knows about the sport, that knows who Jordan is, that don't know who Kobe is.
But in the 90s, I watched a program. I never watched a basketball game in my life, only one. And I knew who Michael Jordan was 20, 30 years ago,
Yeah, he was. He definitely helped expand the sport of the sport of basketball globally. Because before Michael Jordan came around, it was really just like a national sport. Really, just it was big nationally with the help of Magic and Bird, but Michael Jordan, his era, kind of transformed it to the global ranks.
Okay.
Well, he
Carry on,
was
Tom.
spectacular. I mean, Michael Jordan was, a spectacular athlete, the way he played the game. He was brilliant. There were other great basketball players. I mean, I understand what Spencer's bringing in here about the responsibility of the charity work and giving back to the community. That is also part of the legacy. But if we're talking strictly about playing, Kobe was up there as one of the great players, but there's been a long line of great players.
Oh yeah.
In basketball,
Kareem
Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar,
Abdul-Jabbar,
you know,
Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West. I mean, lots of guys.
This is funny, Tom. Check this out, because this was a question on a general sports group that I'm in. It's a whole. It's not just a boxing, like a one sport specific group. It's all sports. But they had posed the question after Kobe had passed away: who had more impact on their sport? And you could probably answer this more than Nathan, because he's not familiar with NASCAR. But who had more of an impact on their sport? Kobe Bryant or Dale? What death had more of an impact on the sport? Kobe Bryant's death or Dale Earnhardt's death? I was like, wow, that's a good.
That is a good question, because that is definitely, if you look at the who follows those sports and the amount of people that follow those sports.
But yeah, in case like with Dale Earnhardt, he was the sport. So losing him kind of put a real dent into the sport. Losing Kobe, as sad as it was, he wasn't playing anymore.
That's right.
So he
Right,
had already retired.
We better do the show. Right.
Okay.
Right. Sorry. Well,
All right.
But I what you're saying, Spencer. I totally get it.
All right.
it's my fault.
I totally understand.
My fault. Right. We'll start with the matchroom card. Tevin Farmer loses his IBF super featherweight belt to Joseph Diaz. What do you guys think of this?
Yeah, I mean, he lost it. There was a couple of people that was saying that, the fight should have been stopped because JoJo Diaz cut was bad. So, but he was winning. He was still winning, even with the cut.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, it's like, why should you stop the fight? It's like when Fury was cut against Wallen, right?
Right.
They didn't stop the fight. That took 120 stitches to close.
Right. And Fury, JoJo was kind of handling Tevin a little bit more so than, well, Fury was handling Wallen, but towards the end, Wallen was trying to really dig into the cut. I don't think Farmer was trying to do the same with JoJo. So
no, he wasn't. He was getting dirty with Fury, and that's not okay. But that's up to the ref. But
right.
Tevin, I thought Tevin actually fought his heart out. I mean, he was fighting hard. I think he had a higher percentage of landing, but he didn't throw as many punches and didn't land as many. His percentage might have been a little higher, but he wasn't as busy and as aggressive. But he definitely was fighting back. It wasn't he was getting rolled over.
Nah, he you know what? That might be too, because the past opponents Tevin Farmer has been fighting, he should have really been beating him, just like stopping him. But he's been more of a defensive type of fighter in his last few fights prior to this one. So maybe that got the best of him, like him just, not put his foot on the pedal like he should have been.
You mean like his mindset was already set
Right.
from the previous fights?
Right. Like, as long as I could just let me just hit when I'm supposed to, and try to,
Right, guys.
Try not to be the one that gets hit the most, and try to be more precise with my punches. But, it didn't work out for him. I don't know where he goes from here, though, because he wasn't a seller. He wasn't a huge seller. And now he doesn't even have a title anymore. So.
Okay. Right. Demetrios Andrade stopped Luke Keeler, which is an overmatched fight.
Oh yeah.
Very.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think, Spencer?
Yeah, this is. I mean, stay busy fight for Demetrius because nobody seems to want to fight him
That's right.
in the division.
That's right. And he's got to fight, so he's got to fight somebody.
Yeah, he can't get too upset at him. And the bad thing is when you look at the rankings is Munguia might be ranked there, but I don't even think Oscar's going to set up Munguia to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, nobody wants to fight Andrade. Nobody.
It's not like he's a big ticket seller, is he, Andrade?
Yeah, he's not a big ticket seller, and it'll be an ugly fight even if they win. So.
But I really think him fighting any of the top 3 middleweights would be a great fight. Any one of them, because
it
of the
depends.
styles.
It like him versus Triple G. I would love to see because he's effective on the back foot. Triple G is superb on the front foot, moving forward. He's able to cut off the ring. How would Andrade deal with somebody that could effectively cut off the ring, that has a nice jab? Like that type of style I would love to see. Or him and Canelo. But Canelo's more of a counter puncher, whereas, he wants to see what his opponent is going to work with. And a lot of times Andrade does that too. He's a counter puncher type of fighter. And he wants to react to what his opponent is throwing at him.
Well,
whereas Triple G will go forward.
Right, but did you notice that how wide he was winging his shots to try to bomb him out?
Yeah,
he couldn't do that against any of the top 3 middleweights. No, that would be another story altogether. So Canelo and he would be a good fight, I think, with Andrade, having a better time of it, I think. But GGG, I think, would be very exciting, and Charlo would be exciting.
I was just about to say Charlo is another one that would be on his front foot trying to, push the issue, and Andrade would have to find a way to be elusive. The fight that I wouldn't really want to see that I think will be a real boring fight would be like him versus Billy Joe Saunders. Fight like that. Because they both wouldn't really want to attack until the other one is attacking.
Somebody's got to be the aggressor.
Right. I mean, in that situation, I think Andrade would try to be the aggressor, but I don't think he looks great when he's trying to do that. Like you said, he'd be winging shots and things like that.
He'd be off balance, for sure.
Okay.
Shall we move on, Nathan?
Yeah. Daniel Roman beats, how do you pronounce his name, Spencer? I can't pronounce his name.
I don't know, but he lost to him. He didn't beat him.
I thought Roman he won. Lost.
Roman lost.
No, wait a minute. You're kidding? Whoa. Let me check that out. I may have it wrong. I thought he beat him. That's funny.
Okay. So when he comes,
name Daniel Roman, right?
Yeah.
Abdullah or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It helps when you do your research, doesn't it? Which I clearly haven't done.
There was a couple of upsets. That was one of the upsets. And
he lost. He lost. That's right. He lost. Okay.
And Jojo Diaz was the other upset on that card.
That's right. Now I remember correctly. I actually watched the fight. For some reason, I got it twisted with somebody else.
There was a third upset on that card. Anthony Sims was supposed to win.
Yes.
And he lost.
I saw that. Yeah, and he just didn't throw enough punches.
Yeah, I don't know. He was looking really good against obviously the lower level competition. And then as he's stepping it up, it's like, I don't know, too precautious or something.
Very, very cautious. Very precautious.
Taking too much precautions rather. So,
I mean, you could be a defensive fighter and move and float like a butterfly, but you got to sting like a bee too.
Yeah,
And
you
he
can
wasn't stinging. He wasn't stinging.
right, and that's what he was trying to like. That's what he was trying to be like. He was saying, "I'm gonna be like Ali and fight in the style like that." Uh, when he was on his way up, he was paying homage to Ali. But nah, man, if you work behind the jab, a good offense could be a good defense.
Yeah.
Having a good offense could be a good defense. Keep them
No,
from being able to hit you.
he was being swarmed, and he didn't have a solution for it except to keep moving, and he didn't have the strength to keep him off with his jab, and the guy just kept rushing him, and that was that. But it was a split decision. It wasn't unanimous.
In a blowout. No, it wasn't a blowout. But that guy, they was expecting him to beat that guy.
Yeah, well, he didn't do it, so he's got to go back.
Wins.
Who did?
Serrano. I ain't see the fight. I just knew the results. I knew she won.
Let me look at that. Serrano. Yeah, I think I saw this one.
Okay.
Come on, give me the thing here. Who did he fight again?
Yes, she.
Amanda Serrano fought Simone Aguirre. Silva, or to say somebody called Silva. I can't pronounce her name.
All right, wait a minute. I'm catching up to you here. Serrano. Was this, give me the first name again.
Amanda.
Oh, okay. I didn't see this one. Did you see it?
No,
I
none
didn't
of
get
you
a
saw
chance to see it. I just knew the results.
No, we better pass then if we didn't see it.
They trying to set up Serrano with Katie Taylor.
That would be a good fight. Very good fight.
Yeah, Katie Taylor's good.
Yeah.
Her last fight was close, but that was controversial. What?
Dodgy judging, not fair.
Yeah.
Right, we'll move on to the PBC card, which is this Saturday. We're going to start with
Why are you not talking about the? Wait.
Sorry.
Why are you not talking about the PBC card that happened Saturday?
Oh, because I forgot all about it. I didn't see any. I forgot. Oh. Also on this card, I forgot to mention there was a YouTuber fight. Jake Paul fought somebody called Gibb, which was over in 1 round. Did any of you see this fight?
I saw it. It was a joke.
Dreadful.
It was a joke.
I ain't see it, but listen, this they was having a conversation on social media about these state commissions allowing these boxers to get licenses, and should these, they let these YouTubers get boxing licenses. And, I had to think, I'm like, well, man, let me think about this. If you're planning to get paid to do a sport anyway, you're planning on getting paid, the commission might want to step in so that they can put certain regulations on the fight. Like they got to be a doctor there. They got to be, concussion protocol, certain things that the commission, the fact that they'll license a fight that is going to happen anyway, they can step in and make sure that these dudes don't kill themselves, that they take out some insurance like they supposed to. And plus they get a little cut, of course. But
but don't they do that? And if you get a boxing license and that fight is in a professional setting, all of those rules should apply.
Yeah, no, but the people are complaining that they saying that the commission shouldn't even grant guys like Jake Paul and KSI and all of these dudes and Logan and them boxing licenses to begin with, because they not boxing. They didn't have no amateur career to
be fair, KSI, he's got some technique. He wasn't awful. He wasn't awful. Jake Paul wasn't awful. They've got some standard. They've got some athletic ability in them. They're better than, look at some of the people that do have boxing licenses.
Listen, plus they getting licenses to fight people that's their class. It's not like they going to fight Deontay Wilder or something.
No.
They gonna fight the person that's popping shit to them. Say let's go get a license and get paid.
Well, check it out. Remember when Floyd fought that Japanese kickboxer?
Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing applies there. You know what
Well,
I
that
mean?
was an exhibition. That was, supposedly an exhibition.
Well, he
Mitt
got
Romney,
paid. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
Mitt Romney fought Evander Holyfield in the exhibition.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Evander Holyfield took it easy on him.
Oh, yeah, he definitely took it
I
easy.
think if you've got people that are similar levels, they're novices and they're fighting each other, I don't see the harm in it. But like you said, if they're fighting, if you get someone like Jake Paul fighting someone like Canelo, then there's a problem. I've got no problem with it at this level. It's not too bad.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. Why not? Let them do it if they want to do it. They're training with somebody. At least I think Paul in this last fight, he looked pretty good, and he had a trainer he was working with.
To be fair to the Paul, these guys all have athletic ability. Yes, I had some sort of athletic ability. They're not complete fat guys off the street who've got no ability. They've got some
right, and again, like I said, the commission, once they step in, there's some regulations that these guys got to follow. So, that kind of helps and curbs certain things from happening.
Yes, it does. I agree, for sure. That's for sure. But, remember when we had, what's his name, the great 3-round fighter, the fat guy? What was his name?
Butterbean, yeah.
Butterbean. It's kind of like that, too. It's a novelty.
Yeah.
And boxing's a circus, it's a show. So people are going to want to tune in and see that. It's like when women started fighting in the beginning, when we had the coal miner's daughter, who was a very tough fighter.
Oh, God.
People wanted to see the novelty. It's kind of like wrestling. It's showtime here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
When Ali fought the wrestler in Japan, things
yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
They want to see that, like Floyd fighting the big show and all of that.
Yeah, so if they're going to make some money, good. Let them make some money. But
Floyd and Conor.
I think you're right, Nathan. Like, they got to keep it on the same level, and not fight anybody above their level, or else they're going to get seriously hurt.
But what I'm saying is, if somebody say was to give me or Spencer a boxing license, then I'd be very shocked. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's got to be a standard, or you, it'd be ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they. First of all, I don't think these guys can just walk off of YouTube and get in a ring. They're going to have to train. They have to train. I mean, it's crazy. If you do that, there's something loose up in your head.
Okay.
You're going to get hurt. Yeah.
We need to move. And what was this other PBC card, Spencer?
It was with Ugas and I forgot who he fought. Mike Dallas. He stopped him.
Right soon too, in the first round in 101 of the, wasn't it?
I think it was it the first? I think it was the first. It was no more than
seventh round. It was in the 7th round. He stopped him.
Right. Who else was on this card?
Rivera versus Maldonado.
Right.
That was a TKO.
That was the first, right? That one was quick. Was that one quick? One of these fights lasted in the. I mean, I know the Jake Paul got knocked out, and
that was the first round.
Yeah.
But I thought there was somebody else that got knocked out in the first round this week.
I know there were a bunch of knockouts.
Austin Trout fought this weekend too,
and he won as middleweight. As welterweight.
Yeah, just above. I think it was 150 or something like that.
Or
148 or something like that. But he plans on moving back down to welterweight. He got a 3-fight deal with this network that he fought on. He fought on Impact Network. It's some gospel network out of New Mexico or that area, somewhere around there.
Right.
What's his name? Austin Trout. He needs to be fighting this kind of level of opposition. When he stepped up, he's not the fighter he was. He just needs. They need to stop giving him title shots.
I think he did this so he could get a couple wins under his belt, because when he was with PBC, he was fighting PBC, he was getting fed to all of them. He was getting fed to all.
Yeah. They need they won't fight their top guys against their other top guys, so they need people.
Well, they trying to build up the story because, Trout was the dude that was supposed to. He once beat Cotto and gave Canelo a good fight. So, you know, if you beat Trout, then you really better than, you know, you're you're the goods, you know, you're
Yeah, your stock goes up.
advertised, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, Herb fought him, Charlo fought him, Laura fought him, um, um, so you know, Shirley fought him. So all of these dudes supposed to, you know, see how where they at against Trout, because Trout is a tough out. You know,
He is.
despite him losing those fights, all those fights was competitive fights. So
Mhm. It's true. Yeah, and he was a champion. Yeah, he came in at 149 for this fight.
Guys, I'm just reading something here. It says that Trout was the champion nearly a decade ago.
Right.
yeah, that's about that. That's about right.
Right. I thought, you know, a lot of people claim that he won that fight with Canelo.
Yeah, there'll be people that say that because you know,
Canelo was a
I
slow starter in that fight.
yeah, you know, but you know, they they wanted Canelo to win. They gave him the benefit of the doubt or whatever the case is. I guess that's the case. So you know you got to go in there and really beat up that guy and to win. So unless you really do that. Hey, one judge gave a fight to Canelo against Floyd, and that was crazy. So
Right, we must move
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
Right, Joseph Parker will be fighting a guy called Sean Dale Winters on February the 20th on the Garcia Vargas undercard. This is an okay, acceptable fight with only a month's notice, I think. What do you think, Spencer?
I don't know. Did I ever see this dude fight? I don't
No,
know.
you
Did I
wouldn't have
see
done
him
that.
fight?
But Tom, me and Tom have watched highlights of him, and he's okay. Tom, tell us your findings.
Well, he's 40 years old, and he didn't have much of an amateur career. He's very wide, but he's a strong puncher. So, in my opinion, judging by the styles here, I mean, he's stepping up into a very high class of heavyweight here with Parker, who can box and who could throw straight punches. So, I see him putting up a good fight, being aggressive and trying, but Parker is just a different pedigree here. He's a much different pedigree. He's on a different level, and I think he's going to win by about the 7th or 8th round. So, and Parker needs a good win, and I think this is a good matchup just to get him back in the mix because he needs to fight, just like White needs to fight at this point.
And
They need to be in front of the public eye to get a shot.
now this dude just got placed in the WBA rankings.
Mm-hmm.
So Parker beating him gives Parker a spot. Is Parker in the WBA rankings? I can't even remember. Was he ranked in the WBA?
I don't know.
Was
We
he
could
ranked
look.
in the WBA? Nate,
Who?
is
Parker.
Let me
Parker
go.
ranked by the WBA?
Let me have a quick
Let's
look.
see. I'm going to look at it right now.
We've
Heavyweight.
only got 10 minutes left, guys. Oh, God, this is frustrating.
No, he's not.
So this
He's not.
fight is to get him a ranking.
Probably, yeah. That's the way it looks.
Because this guy just got ranked. So they're going to have him fight, and then Parker beat him, and then he could get a ranking.
There you go. Where do you want to
That's
go
it.
now, Nathan? Because I heard you say we got to move on.
Because we've only got 9 minutes left. Let me quickly look. The WBA rankings we don't need. Makabu, Spencer, did you watch Makabu become the WBC champion against Sislak?
No, I didn't. That was the other fight.
Good fight. Good
That was
fight.
the other fight. That was the other fight. They probably. You think they're gonna set him up with the winner of the World Boxing Super Series?
Yeah, they could potential, but there's another guy who's a champion, Arsene Guliman, is the WBA Super. I think that's a more realistic fight as a unification, but not the winner of this.
They should do that. The WBA, WBC should set up their fights, but they might not because both them guys might want to get some title defenses before they lose their title. Either one of them.
What do you think, Tom?
Well, I watched the fight, and he's a very good fighter. He's strong. He's a little slow, and he takes punches too much. but he really gets on the guy, and he's relentless, and he goes to the body well. So I think he's going to be formidable for anybody he faces. But, now that Usyk is out, I don't see anybody really ready to mow down the division at this point. I mean, who do you think is the monster in that division, Spencer?
Yeah, I mean, really. Who?
No, Bredis.
You think Bredis? Well, we about to see.
Well, that would be good. I mean, that would be a good fight.
He's in the fight.
Dorticus got a heavy hand too, so. But he, and we're gonna see with this winner. See if he shows up. I got him winning it. Dorticus,
but since Usyk has disappeared, the division is a lot more open, isn't it? It's a lot more open.
Yeah, it's more of a toss up. And then there's some guys that who knows how they show up. We might not have seen the best from them yet until they fight one of the other top guys.
Yeah, if they can rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Well, Wilton 4. What's next?
Andy Ruiz Jr. has been branded a coward by Dillian White.
That's cool. I don't even know what to say about that one.
White didn't get what he wanted. He wanted a match, and Ruiz decided he didn't want to do it. And now he's trying to bait him and insult him into, a match, and he's trying to save face. I mean, Andy Ruiz doesn't have to fight him.
Yep. He don't right. What Andy Ruiz has, what Dillian White has, Andy Ruiz don't need to fight him to get already, which is a slot to fight Deontay Wilder. Him being, kind of aligned with Al Heyman a little bit, he could get a shot at Wilder. He don't, really need to get himself into a mandatory position, so to speak.
That's true. So I think Ruiz is holding all the cards here, because it helps White, but it clearly doesn't help Ruiz unless he defeats him soundly. So
and it's funny because White, as the interim champion, he got to fight one of those top 15 guys in the WBC. He can't just fight walkovers. He got to fight. That's why they're talking about him fighting Povetkin.
Right, and I think that's a good fight. I think that's an entertaining fight.
Mess around and lose that one.
What was that?
I said he mess around and lose that one. Povetkin hits hard.
He hits very hard, but he gets tired. But he's got to be on his game to beat Povetkin.
Yeah, but to be fair, so does White. White get tired also.
Yeah,
and White was looking really bad his last fight. Unless he's really been in the gym. As far as body-wise, he was looking really bloated and out of shape.
Well, he needs to fight. You're right. He needs to fight somebody. He needs to get in the gym. He needs to fight is what it is. That's what he needs to do. He needs to stay in front of the public so that people will, he could keep interest in him, if he goes in there and he knocks somebody out, so he could be, the public can be interested so he can get money. But being on the sidelines doesn't help him.
Let him fight Luis. He should fight Luis Ortiz next.
I think Ortiz would beat him.
Listen, this is, perhaps, but this is what the reason why I think he should fight Luis Ortiz. Because if he beats Luis Ortiz, because he got to go in there obviously thinking he could win the fight. If he beats Luis Ortiz, then he could shut Deontay Wilder up clearly. Like, I beat him. You wanted me to beat him. He the boogeyman, the second best guy in the division and all of this. And I beat him too. So now you got to fight me.
Right, guys.
Fight Fury again.
We've only got 2 minutes left. I'm going to stop recording, then I'm going to quickly organise our next show. Thank you, people, for watching. And subscribe to Too Tough Talk.
Oh, wait. So we ended it. Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to Too Tough Talk on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Number 2 TUFF.
And your new group as well.
And Coast to Coast Boxing Talk on Facebook.
Okay, we're going to stop.